Hi guys, welcome back to the Fermented World. Today we are in the sunny corner of my kitchen and we're going to be brewing an all-grain beer kit. This kit's put together by Brewery supplies and is of a beer company, can't even see it, called Shiny Brewery. They're over in Little Eaton. They make some absolute bangers of beers, and today I'm going to be brewing their double IPA called Praise the Sun. Which should be, according to the notes of doom, around 8.1%. So I'm going to start off by filling this up with my strike water. I'm going for 11 litres to start, and after the boil we'll lose some of that. So let's get it on. Time is a ticking. We're going to bang some water in here. So we've got 12 litres of strike water in there. That's what we're going to be using to mash with. We're going to bring that up to 65. Well, I'm going to put it up to about 72 because when you add the grain, it does go down a little bit. Ingredients, we've got some dextrose in this as well to boost the ABV. We've got Columbus, Citra, Sabro, Cashmere, and Idaho 7 in these. It uses Sanders yeast. I don't mind telling you that bit. I'm not giving you the amounts of everything because this is their recipe. If you want to brew this beer, you're going to have to go to brewday.co.uk and order the kit. I don't get paid from them. They're really nice chaps. I just don't really want to undermine their hard work of working with a brewery to get the recipe built. So yeah. And it's good fun, so go brew it yourself. And if you're not 100% sure if you're going to like the beer, buy one from Shiny Brewery and then come back and tell me you didn't like it. So this is going to heat up. While that does, I'm going to re-mill this grain because I'm not sure whether it's not fine enough to get the extract out. I always seem to be considerably under the amount that I want. So I'm going to re-mill it because I bought myself a mill, and why wouldn't you use it if you've got it? So we're going to go do that while this heats up. Okay, so first time using this grain mill. So let's give it a whirl and see what happens. Worst case scenario, nothing. Best case scenario, we get the grain a little bit finer and we're able to oh shit, dusty old what? Is it going to hold it all? I think it is. Just about. Perfect. So as I say, the reason I'm doing this is simply because I'm not sure whether I'm getting the right amount of crush. Now this one actually looks crushed better, but there is still some grains in there that aren't crushed. So let's give this a go and see how we do. It's extremely satisfying. Have a quick butcher's what we got down there. Okay, it looks a lot finer than it should be, but I'm in no position to adjust the dials now, so I'm kind of like committed. So let's speed this up because it's going to take a few minutes. Okay, so after a bit of swearing and banging about, I figured it out. The bolt for the mechanism that turns it, the handle, it's basically, it's a bag of we've managed to sort it out. I've managed to get it sorted, and now I'm just cleaning out the powdery malt, which is the stuff that we're gonna mash and turn into sugar. Hopefully. I didn't realise how difficult it actually was to manually turn it. I did see a lot of people using cranks and drills and stuff like that to do it. So that's definitely the way forward. Because my crank arm won't go back on now anyway. So that was that. I'm going to message them about it anyway because I'm not impressed, because I bought a more premium model. So we'll see what they have to say. Might send me a new arm out. Who knows? But all in all, the crush is really fine, which is what I was aiming for. I know people have said that could cause problems, but I'm going to learn that the hard way by the look of it. So I'm going to head back over there now. We've done the grain. It's nicely finely ground down. Quick look at this. It's really nicely done. Maybe a bit too much, but I'm sure I'll live and learn as to how fine I need it. But each one of those grains is now crushed, as where before some of them weren't, and I think that's where I was losing out on extract. So we're going to go over there now. The dry water's ready for start mashing. That's going to take about an hour, so the sooner we get it on, the better. So quickly check the temperature. Want to stir it first of all to make sure we've got an even heat. Take the temperature. So it needs to be 65, but we've got it around 71, which isn't a problem, to be honest, because we're going to be adding a couple of other items. Forgot to do the Campden tablets. Can't remember how many I put in last time. I'm going to go for 3. I think it's 1 per gallon, and I've got over 2 gallons, so 3. So we're just going to stir them in. We're back in a minute. Okay, so Campden tablets now dissolved. What that does is it helps sterilize the water and adds sulfates, which balances the water. Now, I don't really bother too much about water pH, as I'm not that sophisticated with the whole brewing yet, but eventually, maybe, I might. I normally aim for about 70. We've got 69.6 now, so it has come down a little. So I am just going to bump that back up to 70. I know it's not far off it, but I just want to make sure that I've got the correct amount to begin with. And I need to make a coffee because I've not even had one today. So I'll be back. This time we actually overheated it and it caused us a bit of a problem, so I've let it cool down a little bit. We're going to do a quick check. Should be okay. Around the 70 mark is what I want. It doesn't matter if it's a tiny bit over. 72. I can live with that. I'm sure it'll be fine. If not, we'll soon find out. The bag of justice, which is what we use. This is our Brewing a bag, and this is gonna basically work as a container to hold all the grain in while we mash it. I'm gonna get this to the perfect size with the X in the middle. My bag is extremely big, but it doesn't matter. It's perfectly fine. I'm just going to try and pull these sides in to round the inside off as best we can. We're going to get our sterilized clamps and we're going to clamp that down so it can't go nowhere. Then we're going to get our grain, our big bucket of grain, which we've just freshly milled. It was already milled, but I've milled it again to see if I can get more of a yield out of it, because like I say, I always seem to be a little bit less. And plus I wanted to mess around with my new mill. So now for the mashing stage. We're going to pour this in nice and slowly whilst continuously stirring. Like so. I'm going to keep doing this until all the grain's in there. So I'm going to speed it up as to not be boring. Check the temperature. (64, 65.346, 8, 9. So it's going to be at 66 instead of 65, which isn't a problem at all. In fact, it's better being at the 70 odd that it was at when it started than it would be if oh no, don't press it down, that was a bad idea. Bloody hell. Right. Yeah, that was a bit of a dick move. I'm going to put that on there just to keep some of the heat in, and I'm going to go walk the dog because I always do at this stage. This is going to sit like that for an hour. I've literally just cleaned the hob as well, and now it's just covered in smeg. Okay, so we're at the 30-minute mark now. What we're going to do is we're going to do a quick check to see what the temperature is. And this lid is super sticky. Oh, golden Bennett, that is mega sticky, which is good, which means we're getting the sugars we want, but we just need to check the temperature and make sure that the temp's okay. We did lose a bit because I'm stupid and I pushed the bloody thing down, even though we were already losing some. So a quick stir and we'll see what we're at temperature wise, just to make sure that it's an even spread. It's warm out there, it's nice and sunny, but as soon as that sun disappears, bloody hell. Definitely gets cold. So it's creeping. We're at 63 now. So ideally we do need to add a little bit more heat. So I'm going to do that. Even with the grain in. We're going to do it because we have to. There's no two ways about it. Just a little bit of heat not too much, enough just to bring it up ever so slightly. Luckily it's in a bag as well, so it's already got that less likely chance of charring on the bottom because it's got that barrier. We're not going to leave it on there for long. We'll bring that back up and let it continue mashing for another 24 minutes and we'll be back. Okay, so that's the 60 minutes up. We've removed it over there. We're now heating up the sparge water to 76 degrees, and then we're going to sparge using a grill, which is this, which is currently sterilizing. I'm just going to use that for, I'll show you how. And yeah, we'll sparge with the hot water that's here. 76.3. Bada bom, bada bing. Right, so we are going to start sparging now, so I'm going to switch this round. Glug, 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 glug. Right, so we transfer the massive pot of wort to the sink. We get our sparge water ready in our jug. This water's hot, so be careful, he says as he splashes himself. Can't believe my hob is dirty again. I specifically cleaned it for today's brew. Okay, so let's move that out of the way so we can see what we're doing. Now, we're going to get the bag down the sides there. And we're going to get messy doing this, but that's just the way it is. Oh yeah. Keep that foamy goodness in. One last mix just for good measure. Right, and now we're going to do what we call sparging. So we're going to get this grain bag from underneath the tap where it's trapped there. We're going to get it and we're going to slowly hoy it up. And as we do this, the water will seep through the bag. Like so, and we just attach this mesh grill, which allows us to sort of rest it on there because this thing is heavy and hot. Now there's a lot of grain in this kit, more than I've ever used, so getting the liquid out of there is really important. So while we do this bit, I'm going to speed it up. I'll even speed the sparging up as well because it just takes long. Okay, so I've left this dripping for a while, tied the bag up at the top, let it drip in. Looking at what we've got in there and knowing how much it drops when we boil, we're not going to have enough after sparging. So I am going to need some more water. What I'm going to do is I'm going to run this water through it first, see roughly where it's at, and then go from there. Because I know roughly where it needs to be for the amount that we need, but because it's a cheap pot, it doesn't have any markings on it. It's not designed for this specifically, as where some that you buy are. So let us sparge this, which I'll show you quickly. All we're doing is slowly letting water seep through the bag, which then goes into the grain, pulling out more sugars, and putting it into the final wort. You have to do this very carefully because it's hot, and the slower you do it, the more of a better extract you'll get. So I'm going to speed this next bit up, as I'm going to need some more water anyway. Just going all around, some in the middle as well, in this middle bit, and just let it trickle through. So I'm going to heat up another litre just in case I need it. Try and show you what's actually happening here. So it's coming, we've put the water through the top here, it's coming down through the grain and it's washing any sugars out. It's adding to the pre-boil water, I think it's called. But this is, see, still got sugars and stuff in it, so we definitely want this. I may very well even, like I say, add some more sparge water. It depends how much this comes to, but it's on the boil now, so if we do need it, we've got it. Right, so we're back again, and we might not need to use any more water. This is a 15-litre pan, so I'm thinking we might be about right. I'm going to try and get as much as I can out of this. Do you know what they used to do with this pot? It's what used to make shandy. You used to take all the goodness from it to make your original beer, and then they'd redo this as a shandy. The only problem with squeezing it is it's bloody hot. But that's potential beer in there. It's very hot. It's like 70 degrees hot. Burning my goddamn hand hot. So, what can we do? Can we push it down? That's doing something. So we need to devise some sort of press to press this down, because that's given us a considerable amount more than what we had. I don't actually have anything else that I could press this down with. The bottom of a pan? Could that do it? No, because we need to be holding it at the same time, not allowing it to spread out. So let's retie the knot. I'm going to fanny around with this. I'll be back. Okay, so now we're bringing this up to do what we call the boil. This sanitizes it completely of any bacteria that are going to be nasty and cause us any difficulties, and it also allows us to add the hops, which then releases bitterness into the wort. Wort is the name for your liquid that you've mashed, where you've got the grain sugars inside. Before it's beer, it's wort. So this has got to come up to a boil. It does take a while because of the volume that we've got. We're at 70 degrees at the moment, so we will be back shortly, and what we'll be doing is we'll be adding in hop 1, which is some Columbus hops. That'll be going in straight away. Then 10 minutes to the end of the boil, we'll be adding the dextrose, which is brewing sugar. We're banging that in there, along with the hop packet 2. Now, these kits are really, really good. They've given me an insight onto what I'll be able to do with brewing without having to do like trial and error kind of thing. I've got a system now. They're all pretty much the same. Some differ. Some you chill, then add your hops and yada, yada, yada. They all differ a little bit. This one's got Citra, Sabro and Cashmere in. They are brilliant. A list of exactly what you do. Follow it step by step. It's really, really simple. I can't tell you how simple it is. It takes a long time though. It's very time consuming. So I started this brew probably 3.5 hours ago. This has got an hour's boil once it's at boiling point. So yeah, it takes a long time, which is why the brew in the bag method is a little bit more tedious, I suppose, but I like it. Instead of just switching a machine on, which then does everything for you. To be fair though, a machine would be cheaper because the simple fact that gas costs a bloody fortune. So I guesstimate that this will cost about £3 to £4 worth of gas, all in all. So that's for boiling the water to begin with. Heating the water to begin with. Then your hours boil, and so on and so on. So I had about £3 to £4 to the running costs. I think this kit was about £26, which really isn't that bad. And like I say, it gives you an idea of what you can do, and you've got the recipe forever. So you can just keep rebrewing it and rebrewing it. But one thing I won't do is share the recipe, because like I say, I've had to pay for it. If you want it, you can go pay for it. That's fair, right? But once I do start doing my own beers and I do my own recipes, I've got good ideas for what I need in the recipe. So once I'm doing my own, I will share that. Of course I will. Why wouldn't one? Why wouldn't one share? Right, anyway, going to leave this to come up and we'll be back once it's boiling to add that first packet of hops. Okay, so we're approaching boiling point now. It was at 96 the last time I checked it. So we're going to get armed ready with this bag of hops, which is vacuum packed for freshness. And very fresh, I'm sure it is. Oh, wow, that's got some funk. Columbus. Yeah, that's packing a right punch to see. There's only a small amount in there. So yeah, this is going to go in for 60 minutes. Then 10 minutes towards the end, we're going to add the dextrose. Then when the final 10 minutes is over, we're going to drop the temperature down to 75 degrees. And we're going to add the hop packet labeled Hop 2. Then we're going to cool the wort down to 21 degrees pitching temperature, and we're going to let it do its thing. 4 days, it says. In 4 days, check it. Now, if that's fermenting in 4 days, they got some pretty radical yeast. I want to visually see it boiling before I add the hops, though, which is where this, I don't know what it's called, this curd that happens on the top, it starts to bubble away, roll away kind of thing. That's when you know it's actually at boiling point. And this is cutting it really, really fine to go and pick the kids up from school, so it needs to get its ass moving. Oh. Oh. It's a coming. That's just good enough for me. I can see it starting to happen. So in with the hops. Small bag of hops in there. And that's going to give us the bitterness. That's why we boil hops. It gives us a bitterness. There you go. Look, you can see it going now. Perfect timing. We're going to mix that in. Get that lovely hop smell flowing. Kids hate it. So I'm going to be in trouble. But that's life. Give that a good mix. And let it boil for 60 minutes. Start the clock, maestro. And I need to make another one for 50 minutes. That is the 50-minute mark. And now in goes the dextrose brewing sugar. This will boost the ABV by giving us extra sugars. And we're going to mix that in as it goes. Getting it all in there. It's a bit of a random amount, if I must say so, but if that's how much they say you have to use, that is how much you will use. Now, I do have some on hand if I need to adjust this in any way, shape or form. Let's make sure that that's mixed in. We've got another 8 minutes until the end of the boil. I was looking for my hat. Just put it down somewhere. I couldn't bloody find it. So that's the sugar in. Another 7.5 minutes now ish. On that, it's time. Off the heat. We're back over at the sink, and now we're going to be cooling this wort to 75 degrees so that we can add the second lot of hops. So in goes the immersion cooler or chiller, and we bang the water on. I've made the hose shorter from the last couple of times I used it, so I've used this this will be the 5th time, and this hose here, it was just massive. It was coming all the way out here. It was just in the way. It was a pain in the backside. So we need this to be 75 degrees. It's obviously currently 100 boiling point, obviously. We're going to chill it down to 75, which won't take long. And then we're going to add the other packet of hops labelled Hop 2. Stir it around like that, just to keep it a little bit more mobile, which chills it down a bit quicker. We want to be able to keep an eye on the temperature as well. So here's coming down. That's at 82. And if we lift that up, the stuff in the center will go to the outside, and all this is doing is pushing cold water through a copper pipe and into the wort. 78, 79, center bit says 74, 73. So like I say, it doesn't chill the outside as quickly as it does the inside, but it's still doing its thing. So we're just going to keep an eye on it. It will be done any second now, and then we can add the other hops. Now, I'm not sure why this cooling thing is a thing, but this is the second brew that I've done that it required it. Let's switch that off as we are approaching it now. and I don't want to go over the mark. Make sure we get all of our beer back in there, or wort. Put that in there. For now, give it a stir. Check the temperature. Make sure we've got an even mix so there's no hot spots. Okay, still a little bit warm. What did I say we needed it at? 75. Oh no, it might be a little bit too cool now. Let's see. Now we've got 70. But we've got it down to 70, that'll do. I'm not faffing around heating it back up. In goes hot packet number 2. I'll make a note that I did it at 70 degrees instead of 75 degrees, as I should have done. In it goes, but I didn't sterilize my hop spider. Give that a good old stir-a-rooney. Oh, that smells good. And then that's going to sit like this for 20 minutes. Then we chill it completely and down to about 20 odd degrees, and then we pitch the yeast and we're done. I think that's all mixed in now. Yeah, lovely. I'm going to pop the lid back on, and 20 minutes like that, and then we'll be back to chill it again and pitch some yeast. You have no idea how nice this smells. It is simply divine. Okay, so 20 minutes is up. We are now chilling this down to pitching temperature, which is, according to this, 20 degrees, 19 to 20 degrees. Well, my kitchen's a little bit warmer than that, so what I'll do is I'll have this low down, I think, to try and keep it at that temperature. So yeah, we're going to chill this down now. And yeah, when it's chilled, we'll be back and we shall pitch some yeast. Finally got it down to the temperature it needs to be. We're going to be tipping it into this hop spider to capture as much of the hops as possible. Then we're going to take a hydrometer reading. We're going to see how much we have, because it differs. It should normally be the same, but it differs by how much you lose from the grain. This time it had more grain in, so we're possibly going to lose some, maybe a bit less. We might be on point, and then what we'll do is we'll adjust for the ABV if we need to. So let's get this poured in and we'll speed this bit up. that was a pain in the backside to get all of that wort out, to be honest. There's still loads in the hops. I need to devise a new way of doing this. I can't fit this in my pan to add the hops to that, so maybe I need to look at getting a bigger pan. Even if I'm doing this style thing, I need to be able to put the hop spider on the side, add the hops, let it do its thing, and then, you know, do it that way, because this is a pain in the backside. I mean, I keep squeezing it. I'm getting more. So I'm just going to let it drain for now while I take a hydrometer reading, and then I'm going to try and get some more out of there, because I don't want to waste it. It's paid for, it's in there. I'm looking for my hydrometer and it's here. I'm using it to push down a opened tin of tuna, which I cleaned out years ago. I've been using it for yonks. So, the moment of truth. Let's check the start gravity. It should be reasonably high, because this is supposed to ferment out to, what was it? Damn, that's high. That is crazy high. Supposed to start at 75. Mine's at 94. Whoopsie. So, what we're going to do is we're going to adjust this with some water. That's what we're going to do. I don't know how much water, but we need to adjust that, otherwise it's going to come out stonking. 94, bloody hell. That'd be a beast of a beer. That'd be over 10%. Let's give it one more poke jiggery. 94. That's insane. I get that when I'm brewing mead. Never mind flipping beers. Let's see if we can get any more, because we're going to dilute it anyway. We're nearly at 11 litres now. So if we add half a litre of water, that puts us up to the amount it should be at. But not knowing how much I was going to get makes me realise that I'm not as clever as I think I am. But still learning. Right, we're done with that now. That can bugger off. Right, this is the last time. I'm not adding any more water now. Gimme good, gimme good, gimme good. $82. I'm not putting any more in. We're sat at 82. Start gravity. Yep, 82. That's it. Total extraction. Can't believe I've actually got a start gravity of that. Right, so we have some yeast to be pitching. Double check the temperature. Yeah, we're good. I'm going to brew this a little bit lower down to normal because my kitchen is about 22 degrees ish, 21 to 22 degrees. It dips and dabs a little bit, but I want it a little bit lower down because up here is that temperature. I want it a little bit lower down because it says it wants this to be brewed at a bit of a lower temperature. So we're going to snip this and get the yeast in there. So we pitch the yeast. Keep that out, don't want that in there. Saw that floating around earlier on, I thought I took it out. Bit of husk. Yeasty. Sanders yeast this. I have no idea what that is. Whether it's a brand or a strain. But if Shiny Brewery use it, it's definitely going to be banging. That's for sure. And now we get it mixed in. Mixy, mixy, mix. Adding oxygen as well, actually, which is always a good thing. It needs oxygen for the fermentation. Get in there, yeasty. I mean, it smells lovely. I'm not gonna lie, it does smell really good. And we're not using finings on this either, because this is meant to be hazy. And there we are. The brew day is concluded, comes to an end. So I'm going to get that all clamped down, nice and tight. It's switched round, ready to rock and roll. And we'll get an airlock on there, which is over here, so I don't know why I'm going over there. I don't know where his little hat is though. But anyway, there we have it. I'll go find his hat, get it labelled up, and yeah, we'll let it ferment, and we'll be back when we come round to adding the dry hops. Take it easy, thanks for watching. The video is not finished just yet. I've come back because I've decided to add another litre to this, because otherwise it's going to come out at like 9.2%, and that's not where the beer should be. It should be at the 8.2. Is it 8.2 or 8.1? 8.1. I don't know how I've got so much, but I have, and yeah, I've got to deal with it. It's still early days, so it's perfect time to add more water and dilute if I wanted to. We're not in the danger zone just yet, but we certainly need to dilute this a little bit more. So according to that, we've got just over 12 litres. So I am going to add this additional amount, which I guesstimated at making that 13 litres. It doesn't actually mark it, but it's about right. So we're gonna mix that up. And even if we are lowering the ABV, we're getting more of the beverage. It's all right having it nice and strong, but you get to a certain ABV and you don't define the hops, I think. I mean, it's been less than 20 minutes while I've been pondering this, so it's perfectly safe to do this. We're not going to cause an infection or anything. Everything's still not touched anything else, so it's all still good to go. And like I say, I just want it as close to their beer as possible, and I may have more sugars because of the remilling of the grain, which means if I can get 13 litres out of what's supposed to be an 11 kit, I'm laughing really, aren't I? What's that? 72, 4, 8. So it's not even gone down that much, but 78. Yeah, 72, 4, 6, 8. So we'll rejig the information. 1.078. Just because I just don't want it to be super high and then it not taste as good as theirs, because like with the totally brewed one that I'm going to be opening this weekend, I'm going to have some of the actual beer to drink alongside to see how close they are. And I did a comparison like that a long time ago with a Muntons kit, a liquid malt extract kit for their Kutch beer, which if you haven't had is bloody gorgeous. It's a Welsh red ale, and it's really nice. And I bought some of their cans to put alongside the beer that I'd brewed from a kit. It was their kit, you know what I mean? So yeah, we're down to, what did I say, 78. So we've diluted it from 84 to 78. I don't want to dilute it any more than that. I think that's plenty enough to be messing with it. And adding water with chlorine in as well, which isn't the best. It's not been treated, but the water before that had been treated, so hopefully the treatment in there will all just work out and marry together. So now the video is finished, and we'll be back in 4-ish days when this is finished. Take it easy.